Okay, we're ready. I finally got round to doing a book. It's not really a biography, it's much more about 50 years of car design and about the 70 odd designs I've done. However, it does go right back to my very early days in South Africa, growing up in a sort of racing family and then eventually building my own racing car. So it is a little bit of a biography from that point of view. It's been a really good, exciting process to do the book. Lots of hard work, and the team have worked really well on it, but I think it's been a very worthwhile process, and I'm really pleased with the result. One of the fun stories in the book was my first trip to Le Mans, which was 1972, when Alain approached me to do a car for him to try and win the race. It's a 3-litre prototype using a Brabham BT33 as the basis of the car, and I only had 3 months to design it, working at night from between 9 o'clock and about 3 o'clock in the morning. So that was a fun experience, and actually the car did exceptionally well at Le Mans, almost finishing 4th, if not for a crash right at the end. But we've managed to dig up all the history and all the notes and drawings and everything from that car and include them in the book. So that's a great story. In my 20-year period in Formula One, I worked with all sorts of drivers, all shapes and sizes, and some very interesting ones, some very great ones. And I have fond memories of the relationships with quite a few of them, actually. Niki Lauda always springs to mind as a great guy to work with. And then, of course, the success I had at McLaren with Alain Prost and Ayrton Senna. Ayrton and I worked up a really good relationship together and became very close friends. Others I've worked with, Graham Hill from the really early days. Jack Brabham was actually still driving when I joined Brabham, but I wasn't actually travelling in those days, so I didn't work that directly with him. Nelson Piquet really was one of the family. 7 years he was with us, came straight from Formula 3 and joined us, and we really had some great success and some good laughs. 2 World Championships, of course, with Nelson. During the Brabham period, that was fun, where my business partner was Bernie Eccleston for 14 years. And we really were giant killers in those days. We had a very small budget and a tiny team. I was the only designer in a design office in those days. You knew you were chief designer then, because when you turned around and had a look, there's nobody else in the office. That period was great fun. It was much more like a family in those days, rather than a business. And we managed to win 2 World Championships in the 80s in that period. And working with the drivers and Bernie was a fantastic experience in that period. Of all the car designs, I think the one I'm probably most proud of is the McLaren F1. Not just because it sort of went on to be an iconic design, but much more about winning Le Mans. I had no intention to go racing with the car. It was supposed to be a pure road car, but we got forced by a couple of the owners to go racing. And they went on to win 2 World Championships with the car, and of course Le Mans in '95. And that's probably the bit I remember. Out of everything in my career, that's probably the bit I remember best of all and look back on with pride, I suppose, and that is winning Le Mans first time and with the road car. It's been a fantastic process doing this book. It's enabled me to really relive a lot of the designs, a lot of the people I work with, and actually during the process of doing the book, I've met up with a lot of those people again. So it's been a fantastically interesting experience for me, and brought back lots of great memories. Some of the periods, for example, the early Brabham period, some of the most fun, very busy years, but some of the most fun years of my life, and meeting up with those guys again from the Brabham period was really good fun. Doing this one formula book about all my car designs has been a fantastic experience for me. Reliving all the design experience and going back through Yeah, some cars that I really had fun doing, things like the fan car, the MP44 winning all the races, the F1 winning Le Mans. And also, I think the other thing about this book is there's a lot of cars I've done that people actually don't know about. So there'll be a few surprises. There's a few road cars, for example, my Minbug and the Midas Alpha that I did in between racing cars. And not many people know about that. So we have the background story in the book on every single car. So quite an interesting read, even for me.